Let's rewind to the basics. Arch Manning isn't just any quarterback. He's the grandson of Archie Manning and the nephew of Peyton and Eli Manning. That's a family tree that screams football royalty. From the moment Arch first threw a spiral in high school, the spotlight was on him. He was labeled the can't-miss prospect, the one destined to carry the Manning torch into a new era. The hype was real, and so were the opportunities. Major programs lined up, NIL deals poured in, and fans expected greatness from day one. But here's the thing. Being born into a famous football family doesn't guarantee instant success on the college field. Then there's the legacy factor. Being a Manning means more than just playing quarterback. It means carrying the weight of generations of success. Peyton and Eli both won Super Bowls. Archie, despite a losing record in New Orleans, is revered as a legend. Arch inherited not just their last name, but their spotlight. And while that opens doors, it also adds pressure that few athletes ever face. Every pass he throws, every snap he takes, is judged through the lens of family history. That can be inspiring, but it can also be suffocating. The bottom line is this. Arch Manning still has time. He's a first-year starter, adjusting to the speed of the college game, and trying to balance the immense expectations placed on his shoulders. One game, no matter how poor, doesn't write his final chapter. What will matter is how he responds. Does he learn from the Ohio State loss, grow as a leader, and show resilience? Or does he shrink under the weight of the spotlight? The answers will come in the weeks and months ahead. And those games will tell us far more than one bad Saturday. Against Ohio State, all those expectations came crashing down. Manning looked overwhelmed, his throws sailing high, his timing off, and his composure shaky. He finished with just 38 passing yards through the first 3 quarters, a stat line that raised more eyebrows than cheers. Even more glaring was the back-breaking interception and the failed goal line push, where Texas was stuffed on a play that's supposed to be automatic. It wasn't just one bad throw. It was a game where every mistake seemed magnified. And in a high-stakes environment like the Horseshoe, those mistakes become the story. Now, to be fair, Ohio State deserves plenty of credit. Their defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia, dialed up schemes that rattled Manning from the opening drive. With a pedigree that includes multiple Super Bowl rings, Patricia knows how to confuse quarterbacks, and Manning was no exception. Blitz packages, disguised coverages, and relentless pressure turned what could have been a breakout performance into a nightmare. That's the thing about college football. You're only as good as your ability to adapt, and on that Saturday, Manning couldn't keep up with the pace. Still, the criticism came fast. Fans and analysts questioned whether Arch Manning is truly deserving of the hype. Is he only starting because of his last name? Would another quarterback with less pedigree have earned the same opportunities? These are uncomfortable but necessary questions. After all, Texas had Quinn Ewers last season, a solid but unspectacular quarterback. If Manning couldn't beat him out then, how prepared is he really now? At 21 years old, with nearly 100 career passes before the Ohio State game, it's hard to keep using inexperience as the main excuse. Then comes the elephant in the room. NIL money. Manning's reported $6.8 million in NIL deals makes him one of the highest-paid college athletes in the country. And with that kind of payday comes scrutiny. The argument that he's just a kid doesn't hold up when he's essentially being treated like a professional. Fans, sponsors, and the media expect production, not excuses. When the numbers don't match the paycheck, the criticism is going to be louder. That's the double-edged sword of being Arch Manning in the NIL era. Fame brings opportunity, but it also brings responsibility. Another layer to this story is the sheer volume of commercials and endorsements surrounding Manning. During the Ohio State game, viewers saw him on TV almost as often in ads as they did in highlights. That contrast is striking. It's one thing to juggle football and fame, but when your on-field performance doesn't match your off-field exposure, fans start asking hard questions. Is Arch more of a brand than a baller right now? It's not an easy criticism, but it's part of the reality of modern college athletics. Another layer to this story is the sheer volume of commercials and endorsements surrounding Manning. During the Ohio State game, viewers saw him on TV almost as often in ads as they did in highlights. That contrast is striking. It's one thing to juggle football and fame, but when your on-field performance doesn't match your off-field exposure, fans start asking hard questions. Is Arch more of a brand than a baller right now? It's not an easy criticism, but it's part of the reality of modern college athletics. So what exactly went wrong against Ohio State? Mechanics played a role. His throws lacked zip, his footwork looked shaky, and his decision-making seemed rushed. Confidence also appeared to be an issue. At times, Manning looked hesitant, almost as if he didn't trust himself to make the big play. Add in a conservative game plan that didn't let him fully open up the offense, and the result was a quarterback who looked like a shell of the prospect scouts raved about. Sometimes, it's not just about physical talent, but also about mental preparation, and this game highlighted that gap. Comparisons to other quarterbacks only fuel the fire. Take Penn State's Drew Aller, for example. Same age as Manning, but with far more poise and production on the field. Aller isn't surrounded by nearly the same hype, yet his name is already climbing draft boards. It's natural to compare their trajectories, and right now, Aller looks like the more NFL-ready prospect. That doesn't mean Manning won't get there, but it underscores just how wide the gap feels between expectation and reality for the Texas quarterback. Picture this: a packed Ohio Stadium, scarlet and gray roaring from every corner, and all eyes locked on one quarterback with the most famous last name in college football. Arch Manning, Texas's starting QB and heir to a legendary family legacy, stepped into his biggest test yet against Ohio State. But instead of writing a career-defining chapter, he stumbled badly. His performance sparked debates across the nation. Is Arch Manning truly the future superstar so many predicted? Or just another overhyped name riding on family pedigree? Today, we're unpacking what went wrong for Manning in Columbus, why expectations are so sky-high for him, and what this means for his future in Texas football and beyond. For now, the conversation is simple. Arch Manning isn't the Heisman frontrunner or guaranteed first overall pick many painted him to be. Not yet. He's a talented quarterback with a famous name who still has a lot to prove. The hype train might have slowed, but it hasn't derailed. Texas is a strong program with plenty of weapons, and Manning will have chances to shine. But until he steps up against elite competition and delivers, the questions will remain. And maybe that's a good thing, because the only way to silence critics in college football is by winning big games. Arch Manning still has the stage. Now it's up to him to seize it.